There's a lot of activity last night. This is Saturday. That would have been Friday night up here at Durban. What was going on, Mike?
Well, Mr. Lambert went to court, had a hearing the other day, and went in before Judge Pomponio and the Department of Health and Human Resources, and I think Martin Saffer was there by phone. And Mr. Lambert got his kids back. On Thursday, they took him in and got the kids, and the welfare helped him bring them home. And they spent less than 24 hours with their dad, and they was happy. Couldn't ask for a better set of happier kids, smiles on their face. And then Friday morning, Mr. Lambert received a phone call about 10 o'clock or something, that said that he's going to jail for being around his kids and having his kids.
Who made that call?
The best I can recollect is Mr. Eugene Simmons. Took him come in Friday morning, and he went to the courthouse where Mr. Rowe was, and went in front of Mr. Rowe and got his bail revoked. Didn't even call Danny's lawyer. I don't think the prosecutor knew 100% what was going on. Mr. Simmons done this. He just went in and got it done himself.
Eugene Simmons?
Eugene Simmons.
But why would Eugene Simmons want to be involved? Was he somebody's attorney?
Well, I think he was representing his family because his son had one of the kids.
Oh, Eugene Simmons' son.
He had one of the kids, and he made the brags to a couple people that he was. Well, the son, one boy had told us that he was teaching them how to do farmhand, and one of them was trying everything to get them to do labor.
So this is the guy who's running for prosecuting attorney.
That's exactly right.
And he went into Judge Rowe. He didn't have any, as we say, dog in the fight on this one, except he was covering for his son, right?
Yes, that's the way I look at him.
Sounds like almost like a kidnapping, don't it?
Yes, and Mr. Lambert got the phone call, broke his heart, and it broke the kid's heart, and they thought they was back home to be with their daddy, and the kids are back, and they went back to the Simmonses.
So they're back at the Simmonses right now. Eugene Simmons' son.
They're back, all three of them's at Mr. Simmons' son right now. And they put Danny in jail last night.
And Danny, the father, is in jail.
Yes.
My goodness, I've confirmed that. That has been what happened. But I'm trying to get the parties involved here. Judge Pomponio had ordered the kids back.
Yes.
And CPS had returned the kids.
Yes.
This is Danny Lambert we're talking about?
Helped return the kids.
Helped return. Well, does that mean that Janice's deputies were with them?
No, they're CPS workers.
Okay, CPS workers were with them. And then they did that per Pomponio's court order.
Yes. And then Simmons went to Rowe on Friday, had a special meeting with
Eugene Simmons.
Eugene Simmons.
The guy who's wants to be our prosecuting attorney.
Not by my vote.
No, not by my vote either, because this is about as crooked as you can get. This is about as dirty as I've ever heard in this county. This is so dirty that I drove 50 miles up Back Mountain Road to get here when I heard about it.
I just want everybody to know, and I think everybody needs to face the facts. If I can say it, I don't care. I think Donna Price is doing her job.
Yes.
And, she's doing some dirt. She's pulling up dirty work.
Oh, yeah.
That happened 15 years ago.
Under Walt Wyford.
Under Walt Wyford's administration, and she's trying to get it all straightened out and trying to make justice. She's trying to do what God says.
I'm so glad that she is making the move. She's doing the right thing.
She's doing the right thing, and
they're fighting her. They're trying to take her lawyer license. These guys are playing hardball. And now we've got Rowe and we've got Pomponio apparently both involved. Of course, Pomponio can't be blamed here. He's the one that sent the kids back. But wonder why they didn't take it back before Pomponio.
Well, that's what I was wondering. How come the whole case didn't go before him? It seems
Right.
like cases get put wherever they want down there
Right.
at the courthouse. And
It's a little bit of what they call shopping around. It's the Walmart. The courthouse has become a Walmart for select cases.
And I just don't think it's right. Don't think it's right what happened to Danny. He was trying. He done everything they told him to do. Everything. He was at every hearing. He got papers on. And one day he got a letter in the mail. He had a hearing that next day. And, you know, the mail travels. If they mail something from Mollington, it takes so many days to get here. If we mail from Durban down, they need to realize this for these court hearings. But he showed up to every court hearing. Every MTDA meeting, he showed up for everything, went to psych doctors.
So he was doing everything he could in his power to get his kids back.
14 months.
How many kids does he have?
3.
He has 3. About how old are they?
I think one of them is about 14, one's about 9, one's about 8.
So they've been going to school in Greenbrier County, right?
Yes. Some in Greenbrier, I guess, and I don't know if we're the ones going to Hillsborough or where he goes. Some of them, well,
but this Simmons man lives in Greenbrier County. I mean, Gene's boy.
Yeah, he lives in Rennick or somewhere is what I understand.
Well, see, I'm trying to figure out what would Gene Simmons. Of course, we know we know there's a reality there of what he was trying to help his boy out, but he didn't have any authority. He's not a county official. He's just a lawyer. And what right did he have to go into Roe? Sounds like Roe was kind of conspiring in this one.
I think the whole county's political and we need to clean the whole wall.
Well, you know, Roe is trying to cover for Totten the hard as he can.
I don't think it's right.
No, it's not right.
I don't think it's right covering for him. My brother got in trouble and for a long time ago over something stupid, and his didn't equal out to what his is, and his was $50,000 bond. Brad Totten's got 80.
59. Well, he may have more than that eventually.
Well, they doubled some of them up.
Yeah, okay.
They wouldn't do them for nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think justice has been served, but you know what? They might be the judge down here, but there's a judge above them that they better think about.
Well, this case with Danny Lambert is unique. These are 2 judges contradicting each other.
Yeah.
One says, give him back his kids, and the other one says, put him in jail. Now, in essence, this little bit of dirty work on the part of Eugene Simmons caused Danny Lambert to be in jail right now.
Yeah, took him last night and put him in jail with 0 bail.
And won't let him have bail. Mike, we're talking about Totten, who got $50,000 bail for at least 59 counts of sexual assault, and then got home confinement. And Danny Lambert doesn't even get bail.
0.
Well, see, if they'd have given him bail, then he would have been back at trying to get his kids back.
I went on his bail the first time.
Well, good.
I went on his bail the first time, and then when he was indicted by a grand jury.
Yeah.
On this other thing, and then it should have went back to Pomponio, went to Judge Rowe. I don't know how that happened, but you know, it seems like paperwork's contradicting down in that office.
Well, now they have obviously come out against each other. The key we've got to do is to get a copy of Roe's order. Now, Pomponio's order probably is covered by whatever it is, the juvenile proceedings.
Right.
But now Roe's was a criminal deal.
Right.
And that revocation, have you heard just what they revoked he has to have a reason to revoke the bond.
Well, when I went down to the day that he was indicted, Danny was with me in Randolph County when they had to be in court on Friday. The process paper server was up here looking for him. And they come by the house because they know Danny was always around my house. And Crystal said he's not here, he's with Mike. So they called me on the cell phone. Danny asked Crystal if she'd accept the papers for him. And we'd have him married the next day. I had him married at 8:30 the next morning in the courthouse.
This is the Pocahontas courthouse.
And I went upstairs and sat in there, and Danny went in. And Danny got a new attorney because, you know, the old attorney, Ted, went to the prosecutor.
Yeah, he's the assistant prosecutor.
And then his new attorney woman and the main one for the public defenders was there, Josh
Edwards.
And I talked to them, and they started talking, and I went over and talked to Josh. I said, you know, Danny goes to me sometimes into Virginia, and everything was he couldn't leave the state. Everything else was the same.
Now, Danny couldn't leave the state?
He just couldn't leave the state of West Virginia.
Even though you all live on the border?
Yeah,
He's 10, 15 miles from the border.
So I did bring it up and told him I was on his bond, asked if he can go into Virginia. But he had to call down there and ask the office or something. But
Right.
I'm on his bond. Nobody else to me and my wife. And he said that wasn't a problem. That's the only thing he said that day in the courtroom.
Now, who said that?
Roe.
Rose said that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Well, how could he have said anything else? He let talk and go plumb to Texas and California.
Right. And then, you know, Danny done everything he's supposed to do. Hasn't gotten no trouble. And then yesterday he received a phone call he's going to jail.
And from Eugene Simmons.
Not from Eugene Simmons. From the DHHR.
Oh.
Eugene Simmons ain't talked to him at all. Ain't talked to Eugene Simmons at all. It's just we received a phone call from Danny's
See,
attorney. Danny's attorney did not know that he was even a hearing yesterday morning, and they called him. They said, "Where's the kids?" Danny said, "Here with me." They said, "Well, you're going to jail over." That's when Eugene went across the thing to the courthouse.
Huh.
Eugene Simmons gets what he wants down there.
Yeah, he's got it made. I mean, he had his own son as a deputy.
So, well, I got it, and if everybody go back and look at his past histories, and he did represent me on a couple cases, I'll leave it at that. He didn't do me no good. I could have done more with, I think, a 4-year-old kid. He lost his license the way I ripped it where he ripped people off.
I talked to the lady. I talked to the wall lady years ago. She stood on her porch crying, telling me what Gene Simmons had done to her and her husband.
There was a whole.
I never forgot that one.
There's a whole document listed with what he done. And you know, then he shouldn't even have his lawyer license, as far as I'm concerned.
No, it's really amazing to me that he got his lawyer license back.
Well, I don't know how he got on the ballot to run for prosecutor. Cause
no, here's what I'm thinking. I've got a speculation. I'm working on it right now. I think that he used courthouse time. Not himself, because he's not an official. But when he went to those courthouse people, several of them were courthouse people, I think he used our time. I think I paid them to work, and instead of working, they signed his paperwork.
A lot of the names come out of the courthouse that I see in the papers.
Oh, absolutely. And I've got it posted now, and I'm hoping that people will watch this video and tell me what they were thinking. Because here's what I know. I'd like to know why. I'd like to know when Dolan Irvin signed. And although I like Scott Triplett, I'd like to know when Scott Triplett signed. Did they sign when they were on duty in the courthouse? That's campaigning. Because they're trying to get a person elected. Who else was it? Tabby Mann, I think, signed there.
Her name was on that petition.
And he got other people. And I don't think he should have done that during work hours.
Even the magistrate, whatever her name is upstairs, Jenny. I think her name was on it.
Oh, wouldn't that be interesting if it turns out that Jenny Wagner had signed during... You know what they're trying to do down there, don't you?
Well, he told me personally, he's sitting right outside here, because he was outside of my business here.
Yeah.
He told me personally, sitting right out here, he said it took him less than 30 minutes to get the names on the petition. And
well, see, I'm thinking about filing an ethics complaint on that, because I didn't pay him. I don't pay those people. I didn't pay Dolan Irvin. I pay him to be an assessor, not to be a campaigner on courthouse time.
Told me it took less than 30 minutes.
This thing could really blow up on their face.
Well, I asked him, I said, well, this is a rumor up here, and I said, it's strictly a rumor, but I said, it's a pretty good rumor, because I've heard it from a lot of good people. I heard that you were running for prosecutor. If you get elected prosecutor, that you was going to get rid of the other one, put Bob Martin in less than 6 months, you was going to resign and let Bob Martin have the job. He spiffly said right out here and told me, and there was an officer out here. Don't have nothing to do with the sheriff's department.
Right.
There was an officer out here. He said he heard the same thing. He told us that he would sign a resignation, but he never would sign a paper for me that day. I told him he's a liar. I told him I just heard that's what he was going to do in the whole community. I told him right to his face.
So every I can't say everybody, because bound to be somebody that doesn't. A lot of people, I've heard this rumor that that's what he's going to do, that it's Bob Martin you're voting for when you vote for Eugene Simmons.
He told me I was like, he don't have nothing to do with Bob Martin.
He don't want you to think that. In fact, Bob Martin has kind of disappeared. You don't see Bob Martin much.
I haven't seen him down around his office, and I work a lot in Round Mines. And
What really bothers me,